And good morning, City of Chester Community Development Block Grant Program, Home Investment Partnership Program, public hearing. Today is March 11th, 2025, and I will begin by simply welcoming you. Welcome. We have a few people in attendance, and there may be some watching or will watch this in the near future. The purpose of this meeting is to give citizens and other interested parties an opportunity to comment on the draft 2025-2029 Consolidated Plan and the draft 2025 Action Plan. The notice of public display and public hearing was published in the Delaware County Daily Times on February 21st, 2025. A copy of the notice was posted on the city's and CEDA's websites, and copies were sent to all applicants for fiscal year 2025 funding and other interested parties. The city was originally going to prepare an analysis of impediments to fair housing choice as required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. However, on Wednesday, February 26, 2025, HUD Secretary Scott Turner terminated the 2021 Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing Final Rule, but did not reinstate the obligation to conduct an analysis of impediments or mandate any specific fair housing planning mechanism. As a CDBG and home grantee, the City of Chester must continue to affirmatively further fair housing as and to the extent required by the Fair Housing Act. Therefore, at this time, the city will not present an analysis of impediments to fair housing choice document for public comment, as was stated in the public hearing notice, but we will await further guidance from HUD and present its plan to meet the requirements of the Fair Housing Act in the future. The term fair housing means housing that, among other attributes, is affordable, safe, decent, free of unlawful discrimination, and accessible as required under civil rights law. Please be assured that the city takes fair housing very seriously and will continue to take actions necessary to promote fair housing and to work toward eliminating any identified housing discrimination. Moving on to the status of the CDBG and the home funds. For the preparation of the draft action plan, estimated allocation amounts have been used as follows. CDBG, $1,250,000. Home, $340,000. Once final allocations amounts are released, adjustments to the budgets will be made as outlined in the draft action plan and the notice. Here's the schedule for the Consolidated Plan Action Plan. The plan process is still holding to the original schedule. The documents became available on March 3rd, 2025, and will be available until April 4th, 2025. All comments and/or questions received at the meeting, submitted in writing or communicated through other forms of formal contact, will be forwarded to the appropriate parties for review. Any revisions to the draft documents requested by the mayor of the city council, by the mayor and city council, will be finalized after April 4th, 2025. The current schedule calls for city council to consider the consolidated plan and action plan for approval at their regular meeting on May 14th, 2025. Submission of the final plans, currently projected to be on or about May 30th, 2025, is contingent upon notification by the Department of Housing and Urban Development of the city's final allocation amounts. Here's the summary of draft documents. The fiscal year 2025-2029 draft consolidated plan establishes the city's goal for the next 5-year period regarding the use of CDBG and home funds and outlines the specific initiatives the city will undertake to address its needs and objectives. Keeping in mind the priorities established in the consolidated plan, the fiscal year 2025 draft action plan has been developed. Proposed projects to be funded with CDBG and home funds are outlined in the notice of display and public hearing, a copy of which has been distributed to those in attendance. A copy of the executive summary, included in the draft consolidation plan, has also been distributed. Here is the draft budgets for the CDBG and home. Bear with me as I read through them all. The fiscal year 2025 action plan includes the following proposed projects to be funded with CDBG and home funds. The CDBG program, let's start there. Senior Community Services, Senior Center Services, $20,000. Wesley House Community Corp., Wesley House Shelter Operations, $40,000. Domestic Abuse Project, Counseling and Legal Advocacy, $20,000. Salvation Army Chester Corps, the Homeless Services, $15,000. Chester Community Improvement Project, Pre-Purchase Counseling, $20,000. Boys and Girls Club of Chester After School Programs, $10,000. Entrepreneurial Works Fund, Micro Enterprise Technical Assistance, $10,000. Making a Change Group, Connected Families Program, $10,000. Chester Education Foundation Resource Hub, $10,000. The Foundation for Delaware County Homeless Prevention, $10,000. Chester Eastside Incorporated After School Programs, $10,000. Trinity Transition House, Inc., Homeless Services, $10,000. Chester Fire Department Truck Payment, 5 of 7, $105,127. Infrastructure improvements, including streets, inlets, sidewalks, ADA, etc., $250,000. Parks and Recreation, $100,000. Fire Department Equipment, Vehicle, and Supplies, $150,000. Boys and Girls Club, restroom renovations, $58,000. Scattered site demolition, $150,000. Contingencies, $1,873. Administrative and planning, $250,000 for a total CDBG budget of $1,250,000. Note, if the city's final fiscal year 2025 CDBG allocation is more than estimated, the city will increase the following line items accordingly. Infrastructure improvements and administration planning to meet the 20% administrative cap. If funding is less than estimated, the city will decrease infrastructure improvement, public services activities proportionally as necessary to meet the 15% public service cap, and administration/planning to meet the 20% administration cap. That was the CDBG program. Now for the home program. CCIP, CHDO operating expenses, $17,000. CCIP, CHDO set aside for affordable housing, $51,000. Single Family Affordable Housing Initiative, $138,000. Silver Care Senior Housing Phase 2, $100,000. Planning and Administration expenses, $34,000, giving us a total home budget of $340,000. And as a note, if the city's fiscal year 2025 home allocation is more or less than estimated, the city will increase or decrease the following line items. CCIP, CHDO operating expenses to the allowed 5% of allocation. CCIP, CHDO set aside to the minimum 15% of the allocation. Single Family Affordable Housing Initiative and administration to the allowed 10% of the allocation. Now it is time for public comment. I just look up and see 2 new people. Hi. Are there any comments on what was presented and what you have in your hands? I guess I have a comment. Can I have a comment? Okay, good. One second. I guess the comment question I have is what confidence do we have that we're even going to receive this money? I guess that's what I want to ask. Does anyone want to comment on that? I mean, is it a done deal, or should we be very confident? Should we be nervous? Should we be crossing our fingers? Is it just a waiting game?
I think we should be, we need to be prepared as if we're going to get funded.
We should be prepared as if we're going to get funded.
We're going to get funded, but we should not incur costs on things if we know for sure that we're going to get funded.
Okay.
We have to be cautiously optimistic.
We should be prepared in case we are funded. We should not spend any money until money arrives. Okay, that's fair. And I think that's important to put on the record. Anything else? Anything else? Well, seeing and hearing none. Do I hit the gavel? This meeting is adjourned. This hearing is adjourned. Thank you.